What are reports? This 9-minute instructional video will answer this question, as well as introduce you to the purpose and general characteristics of reports, the categories of reports, the options to format a report, and the basics of report writing style. These are the key foundational principles that you will need to know in order to successfully produce any report. After you've watched this video, please check out the other essential videos on problem solution recommendation reports, which will be the type of report you'll be writing for our class, and on using headings in reports and formatting formal reports. So, what are reports? Reports are transformational documents. At a very simple level, this means that reports are about creating change within an organization. Compare this to the more common everyday types of business documents, emails, memos, and letters, which are all transactional documents, meaning they're about the day-to-day actions or activities of getting the job done. Reports, on the other hand, focus on the bigger picture instead of on day-to-day exchanges of information or actions. Why is the big picture important? Well, consider what you know about the business life cycle. Companies that don't change don't grow, and companies that don't grow fail. And if businesses don't stop to look at the big picture of how they're doing, they can't change, which means they will eventually fail. Reports are therefore a key part of a company's long-term success, and employees at any level or in any function within an organization can expect to participate in creating and writing reports at some point in their career. It's important to note that because reports are about the big picture, they're based on information gathered through research. Report writers need information beyond what they know by doing their job every day, so they have to go to other sources to gather that information. This may come from primary sources such as staff or customer surveys or interviews or consultations with experts in other departments or other companies, or from secondary sources such as published articles, books, or other reports written by professionals. So who are reports written for? Well, most of the time, a specific person or group will request a report on a particular topic. They will be the primary audience. However, most reports are also of interest to other individuals or groups beyond the primary audience as well. Consider, you're an entrepreneur starting a summer soccer camp. You prepare a business proposal, which is a type of report, with the bank manager or other investors in mind. They are your primary audience. However, think about the parents who will be taking a chance on your new camp. They'll likely want to read your proposal to reassure themselves that you're probably going to deliver what you promise. They would be your secondary audience. Reports are always written with secondary audiences in mind. At this point, you might be feeling a little bit scared about this new document type. It's helpful to understand that reports share some similar characteristics with essays, which most post-secondary students are already familiar with. For example, like an essay, reports have a clear introduction, body, and conclusion. Like essays, reports have a clear thesis statement. It's just called a purpose statement in a report. Like an essay, reports use clearly and logically organized ideas. There are some differences between reports and essays, though. For example, reports use headings to visually show the reader what the outline of content is. Another difference is that reports don't use the more flowery writing elements of essays. For example, reports don't begin with an opening grabber idea, and they don't end with memorable thoughts. Reports avoid unnecessary adjectives, and they use the principles of business writing that you've already learned to provide facts and details in a simple, direct, and concise way without lengthy explanations. What are the categories of reports? There are many types of reports, but they all fall into one of two simple categories. Informative reports, which only provide information and leave it up to the reader to decide what to do with that information, and analytical reports, which provide information and then tell the reader what it means and what to do with the information. Here are some examples of types of reports in these two categories. Informative reports. Analytical reports. So what do reports look like? Reports can be packaged in two ways. If a report is not likely to be seen by very many people other than the primary audience, and if it's fairly short, it's often packaged informally. This means that addressing information is added to the report using the rules of either memo or letter formatting, depending on whether the primary audience is internal or external to the authors of the report. However, if a report is likely to be distributed more widely, or if it's longer, or if it will be seen by very high-powered people, it's usually packaged formally. You can watch the video on formal report formatting for more details, but in summary, formal reports add several specific components before the report and after the report, and then Surlocks or spiral bind the whole package professionally. So how are reports written? Regardless of whether a report is packaged formally or informally, all reports are written using formal writing style. Please don't confuse these two separate sets of rules that do use the same vocabulary. In addition to the basic principles of business writing, such as writing concisely without flowery language, avoiding biased wording, etc., there are 4 key principles of formal report writing style that are different from the writing style used in emails, memos, and letters. Firstly, reports do not use contractions. All words are spelled out. This is a fairly simple rule, and it's easy to edit your documents to avoid these. Secondly, reports don't use slang or colloquial expressions. A colloquialism is a series of words in which the literal meaning of each word does not match the understood meaning of the phrase. Slang would be a single word whose literal meaning is different from its understood meaning. Let's look at some simple examples. Have you ever been to a nail-biting movie? Did you actually bite your nails? Some of you might have, but most of you would understand that a nail-biting movie is actually a scary movie, whether nails are bitten or not. Here's a colloquialism. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. What does that mean? Is it about apples? Falling? Trees? No, the meaning of the phrase is not connected to the literal meaning of the words. Instead, this colloquialism actually means kids tend to be similar to their parents. The key to understand here is that formal writing uses all words literally. It can be challenging to edit your work to eliminate slang or colloquial expressions. You'll need to review each sentence carefully and change any words that are not used based on their literal meaning. The third rule of formal writing is that first-person pronouns are not used. This is because there's no way to be sure of exactly who may read the report. Your secondary audiences may not know who you are, so if you use words such as I or we, you'll be presuming a personal relationship that likely doesn't exist. The final rule of formal report writing style is very similar. We don't use any second-person pronouns. We don't know who may read the report, so we cannot accurately make any you statements such as you may know, or your experience may be, etc. So what did we learn today? Reports are research-based transformational documents written with secondary audiences in mind. Reports come in many types, but are all either informative or analytical. Reports can be packaged formally or informally, but all reports are written using formal writing style. For more detail on what goes into a specific type of report, please see the video on problem solution recommendation reports. For more information on designing reports visually, please see the videos on using headings and on formatting formal reports. Thank you.